Hello viewers, Super GT here, back on Gran Turismo Sport. Here it is, a Manufacturers Cup race in Group 4 around the curves of Alsace Village in France. So let's have a very quick look at the grid. First place TX3 Devil, second place Ewo9, and then at the back in 20th is me, yeah, F4H Super GT. What the hell went on there? Well, reason number one is I'm obviously not that good. Reason number two is I clearly missed a trick in the qualifying with the strategy, because looking at the other people's strategy, they kind of went in to the pits after lap 1 and then set their fastest lap right at the end of the session. So I'm clearly not in tune with all this qualifying strategy with pit stops and tyres. So I got left behind completely. Though my lap time wasn't a million miles away. So we still have a chance. Let's see what we can do from dead last on the grid. 20 out of 20. So any improvement upon 20th place is welcome. And we have 9 laps in which to do it. So a range of Group 4 cars here, so you will actually notice that there are a fair few BMWs. Seems to be one of the most popular car choices for both Group 3 and 4. Maybe more for Group 3, but in this race as well there are plenty of Group 4 cars. Looking to go for our first pass on the Chevrolet up the inside into the 5th corner, and it's a clean move. And this is something that you'll notice a lot, especially in these races where the qualifying is fairly close. You can see a very big group up ahead. I've now joined the back of it to make it a 6 or 7 car train into the long banked corner. Very, very long. You have to be very patient around this one. Apexing just as the curve ends about 3/4 of the way around, just giving the Spaniard a bump. It seems I can never get myself away from the Spaniards. Hopefully he doesn't end up calling me a pig after this one's over, but that remains to be seen. The Austrian in the Porsche, a little bit wide. Spaniard is going to look for a move around the outside, and he gets it done just about. Make a bit of contact up the hill, and we have a slow moving Chevrolet in 16th place. Our fellow Brit into the final chicane. How is this one going to turn out? I'm just giving the Porsche a little bit of room to manoeuvre, but then we're just going to slide ahead into 17th. So lap 1, not too bad. From last up to 20th. Oh, sorry, from 20th up to 17th. So 3 positions there gained, and you can still see here plenty of cars immediately ahead of us, with which we can go about overtaking on this lap ideally. So something that I really need to improve upon, I think, in this game is dealing with tyre wear and fuel strategy as well. Just strategy in general, so both tyres and fuel. So I mean it's fairly easy if both are turned off. It's fairly easy just to drive at the maximum for a couple of laps, but when you have to deal with tyre wear and depleting fuel, then it does add another element to the game, and that's something that I need to improve upon. And I do sense I'm getting there, as the Brit in the Chevrolet goes for a move on the Spaniard and gets through. It's something I sense that I'm improving upon. Weirdly, as I just go into the back of the Brit, yeah, I'll completely admit there, as I say that I'm improving, but really I just go around punting people like that. This might sound really strange, but starting at the back, in a way, it kind of shows that I'm racing against like really good people now, which in a way is kind of how this game works. Sort of, the more you play it, the better you get. In a way, you should be finishing further back as you then begin to face better people. So it's maybe a good sign that I'm, fighting towards the back. As strange as that sounds, but these guys are all fairly quick, and you can see, I mean, I'm racing as hard as I can, and I'm barely getting away from the guy in 17th place. So it also shows a good strength of depth, and it shows that the matchmaking system on this game works. It shows that it works. The fact that you can match 20 people and we're all fairly evenly matched. Just looking at the map, the gap isn't huge from first to last. It's not absolutely massive. If this was a Forza race, the gap would be about 8 laps by now, but it's only about 10-15 seconds, which isn't too bad. So they're down through the long left into this flowing right. So lots of sort of standalone corners through this first kind of section. There's not as much flow to the circuit, I don't think, compared to let's say Maggiore. But it's not one that I don't like. I do like this track. It's just not as good as some of the other ones in the game, I think. But having said that, I do think that Polyphony have done a really good job on the fictional circuits. I think that on the whole they are very good. And I do enjoy racing them pretty much as I do enjoy racing the real circuits. So that is that's a good point, because I think normally we'd always prefer racing on real circuits, but I think some of the fictional ones are so good that they're almost as good as real ones. So that's something to consider. The space against the Ferrari is just going to open. I thought he was going to close the door on me there, but he just left it open for me. He's going to sneak up the insides into the hairpin. Very easy to overshoot that one, and I've done it again, going very wide, almost onto the grass. So the Ferrari's going to go back into 15th. I'm back down into 16th. It's a good battle. It's a really good battle here, and you can see it's stretching up until about 10th place immediately ahead of us. So it's a long train here from 10th to 20th, and I do fear though that with all this fighting, all we're doing is slowing each other down. So the guy in 9th place is getting far away, and this guy, the Spaniard's spinning out onto the left hand side of the circuit. Although, as I said, we're all losing time here, so that guy will probably be able to catch back up within a lap or two. So it's not all lost for him. So this is going to be an interesting race, because the strategy is going to be split. We have an odd number of laps, so you can't pit exactly halfway through the race. So you can only pit really, or ideally, at the end of 4 or the end of 5. So that is going to split the strategy. Depends what you want. Do you want to get in the pits, undercut everyone, get out ahead, but then have to deal with older and more worn tyres on the final lap compared to everyone else? Or are you going to risk losing a couple of positions in the pit lane, but then having new rubber for your entire second stint, with which you can then go and overtake people? That is the question, really. So up the inside of the Mustang, he got a poor run out of the preceding corner, a bit of contact, not the cleanest overtake you'll ever see. I'm up into 14th, so slowly making progress, slowly getting through this pack, and they're 2 by 2 just up ahead. So good racing. Everyone's giving each other just about enough room, holding their line. If there's someone next to you, you kind of have to give them the space and make sure that they, you don't punt them wide or shepherd them off the circuit, which does often happen in this game, to be fair. So I'm a bit slow through that one. You can just see the cars poking into the bottom of the screen as I was slow through the apex, but then getting away through the left, very wide. It took far too much speed through the apex, coming wide onto the grass. Going to lose a bit of momentum. Constantly monitoring that gap behind as we go into the braking zone. Just about enough. And just spotted behind, this guy comes out of nowhere. The Chevrolet Corvette with a massive lapse of concentration. And as we go into the pits here, actually I'm not going to go into the pits, but that guy regrettably, well, rest in pits, I guess. 2 Gran Turismo Sports videos in a row, we've had some sort of pit lane drama. So I just happened to be on the right hand side. That guy wanted to come across and enter the pits, but I wasn't going to go in the pits. So I kind of blocked him off at the last second. But this is my final lap, so I decided to go the extra lap and pit at the end of 5. And we'll see how close we come to meeting that the Chevrolet Rammer guy. I'm really not sure what the hell happened there. Maybe he had a stroke halfway through the braking point and just, you know, just went straight on. We can give him the benefit of the doubt, or he was just a dirty rammer who just wanted to get revenge, because I did make contact with him earlier in the race, although I did let him go back past. So this is the situation at the end of that pit stop, down to 17th. So clearly it hasn't gone very well, and this is something that people have commented in previous videos, that I need to basically monitor my fuel use a little bit better. So you kind of need to short shift, lift and coast going into corners, especially the fastest corners. Saves a bit of fuel, so that when you go into the pit lane, you don't have to spend as much time. I mean, even if you can save 1 or 2 seconds, just by saving a little bit of fuel out on the track, then that can be crucial. It really depends on your position, because I mean, if you're going to lift and coast and then lose 2 positions by doing it, it's not really worth it. So you do have to be very careful with exactly how you go about it. You're going to be doing fuel saving. So now it's essentially a catch-up race. That pit stop phase didn't go very well at all. So I mean, that 5th lap was difficult as the guys ahead begin to battle the Belgian in the Mustang, and we have the Spaniard in the BMW, who we've now closed right onto the back of, into the hairpin, very close to making contact, and he's going up the inside of the Mustang with not at all a very clean move. So that's me through. 2 positions for free. I'll always graciously accept that, and I just literally hit the apex. I smashed the apex, and just make a really, I mean, that's a really beginner rookie error, that, as I just go too fast on the grass and spin around. It's really not been the greatest lap or 2 here, and we just come out behind our friend in the Chevrolet, who went for the ram of the season but failed, and in fact he's actually going to spin wide there. Is he going to go for another? Maybe not into the first corner. Will he want to succeed this time? No. Okay, I'm safe. So I'm going to try to catch back up. So we've had incidents with the guy ahead, the Austrian, who tried to go into the pit lane, and I inadvertently blocked. And also the guy behind with that near-death experience of the final corner. But now, just trying to catch up to the back of this group, and as I said earlier, it's good battling, even though I'm nearly last. So one person has quit, so I'm 1 position away from last. So even though I'm right at the back, there's still a battle. This is good, you know, it's good, and as I said, it shows that the matchmaking does work. So you do have a chance to have good fights, no matter where you are on the grid, which is always good. Over the line to begin the 8th lap, so only 2 laps left to go. I've got the inside line against the Mustang, so up into 17th. I think 15th might be on here, but that will probably be about as good as it gets in this one. So the Mustang right on our tail. So he's going to tuck into that slipstream. He's looking around the right hand side. As we go through this gentle left, that's going to be the wrong way round. So then into the right, you see him poking his nose up the inside, and you kind of respect that he wasn't really anywhere near alongside, so just backs out at the last moment. So I'm going to preserve 17th, but I'm going to be looking to catch up with this duo ahead, who I've been pretty much involved with for this entire race. We've been pretty much with each other for most of it. So this race has kind of escaped me, if I'm honest. There was a good shot of being very close to 10th place around about lap 3 or 4, and now it just seems to have got away from me with a poor in lap, with the worn tyres just going a little bit too slowly, and perhaps not enough fuel saving. So that's dropped the tail massively. But we do our best to try and gain a couple of positions, and let's not forget I did start 20th. So I mean, any position gained is a bonus. It's an improvement. It's always better to go forwards than backwards. And I suppose from last you can't go backwards at all. So it's only forwards from there. So then the Austrian beginning to just eke out that gap as I just made contact with the BMW. Or do I? Didn't see an SR warning, so maybe I didn't make contact at all. Now down into the final chicane. He's going to go a little bit deep, So I'm going to sense that. I'm going to go very, very wide into the final corner. Perhaps look to get a better exit. And it's not really materialised as I would have wished. Now we've got the annoying message of death blocking our view. Just to make this final lap that much more difficult, I have visibility issues now to contend with. I'm just glad that real drivers don't have this. I suppose they have the halo to contend with now in Formula 1, but can you imagine if on their in-lap they had some massive text across their eyeballs, just for good measure, you know, just to make it difficult for the banter, for the memes, and for hopefully some crashes for everyone to witness. So the Austrians actually lost out through that final section of the last lap and the first section of this one. So the gap has actually come down a little bit. 15th place is possible. Can we go about getting about 16th place though first? The Spaniard taking a little bit too much speed through that one. So into the slight kick to the right. Am I going to be able to get ahead enough into the left? He is on my left, so you should have the inside. I'm going to give him the space, well over a car width. So he makes the most of that, but now just about kept enough speed through that one to now keep the inside for the bank's corner. There we go. I just about settled into 16th. The gap is opening up. You can just see there, when you just start battling with someone, that gap just opens up so quickly. You lose so much time, you know, just not taking the optimum line by fighting with someone. Once again, very wide into the hairpin. A couple of guys very close up ahead, you know, not too far away, and it's just a shame that I made that very big mistake coming up this corner, spinning around, losing a couple of positions and a couple of seconds. So I really think this could have been up towards 10th place or so, if not for that. So on the whole, not too bad a race. I've had a lot better ones, of course, but it's often these kind of races where you learn the most. So crossing the line, and we're going to finish in 16th, a long way off the lead in the end. In fact, I'm not even on that front page, well over 37 seconds off the lead. 16th, not very well done, and my driver there kind of just looking on in disgust at the motor that's delivered such a poor performance. But I went up 4 positions, so it could be worse, I suppose. And that does bring an end to yet another Gran Turismo Sport video. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be looking to improve, of course, over coming races. There are the final results. I was a good couple of seconds off the leader. I mean, he's really quick. And I was, what did I do there? In fact, my SR rating was the only one to go down in that whole race. Look at that. So I must be really dirty. Absolutely filthy. In fact, I'm a pig. I'm actually quite surprised there aren't any Spaniards calling me pigs at the moment. But there you go. I've escaped it this time. And, well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. As always, do smash the like button if you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next one. As always, thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.